A General Theory of Oblivion is a 2012 novel by the Angolan author José Eduardo Agualusa. Agualusa was born in 1960 in Nova Lisboa and went on to study agronomy at the University of Lisbon, which is where he began writing short stories and poems. He published his first novel, Conjura, in 1989 about the jostling of the varied ethnic and economic groups in Luanda at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th. Most of Agualusa's books deal with African history and explore the boundaries between fiction, reality, and mythology. A General Theory of Oblivion was his 10th novel. It was shortlisted for the Man Booker International Award, and it won the International Dublin Literary Award. It's about a woman called Ludovica, Ludo for short, who lives with her sister and her sister's husband in a penthouse apartment in Luanda, and it begins when the Portuguese are leaving Angola in 1974. At that point, the War of Independence was already 13 years old. It was declared officially over in 1975, but carried on for some time beyond that, as various nationalist, communist, and localist groups continued to vie for power. Ludovica's sister and her husband talk about leaving Angola to get away from the trouble. One night they go out to a party, leaving Ludo at home. She doesn't like to go out, and they simply don't come back. Instead, a group of armed men arrive at the door. Only half accidentally, Ludo shoots one of them, and he dies in front of her. To prevent further incursions, she hurriedly bricks herself into the apartment. Two men who are familiar with the building notice what she's done and set off to fetch a pickaxe, but they're killed en route. Thereafter, she's as well hidden as she can be. And in fact, she stays well hidden for 28 years, while modern Angola unfolds without her. A lot of the interest of the story lies in how, given that this is a realist novel, the author manages to solve her predicament. How, given that she's effectively sealed herself off from the outside world, does she manage to secure the basic necessities of food, heating, and water? But it's not all about her. There are a host of subplots in here, all interconnected. The French journalist who investigates disappearances, the intelligence services operative who becomes a private detective, the Cavalli shepherds around whom the new state of affairs is closing like a trap, and the political prisoner who escapes in a coffin and then finds a couple of diamonds in a pigeon's stomach. This is a cheerful and optimistic novel. It won't ruin the reader's experience if I say that things work out well for Ludo in the end. Before we get there, however, we do have to endure a shock or two. We know at the start that Ludo's slightly odd. At the end, we discover why. And then there's the question, unanswered until now, where exactly her sister and brother-in-law went after that party. And there's a new character to be reckoned with, one no reader could conceivably have foreseen on page 1. The author's compassion extends to all of his characters. He frequently disapproves of them, but he's never contemptuous. And there are lots of comic touches, a bungled assassination attempt with a venomous snake, a dancing hippo, a death caused by a fall in a satellite dish, and what the moral of that event might be. All in all, this is a very good read. It's a serious read, but hopeful, and not too po-faced.